Hello everybody, it's Scott O'Motto back for another episode in my deep dive series on the mod Dooglamoo Cities for Minecraft. In this series, we're going to go over another one of the manufacturing blocks, which this block is the first one in the mod that I consider to be a little bit high maintenance, a little bit shaky in how it acts, and we'll explain that. But that block is the Blacksmith. And it's a really cool block because it will smelt your ores, your iron. It will make iron tools out of it. Now, where the issue comes in is that it makes iron blocks, and it makes those for the towers. So it makes those in huge quantities and it just won't stop. So it pulls in all your iron. Now, we do know how to handle such situations that we can turn off the block when we don't need that anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and place down the blacksmith here, and then we'll go ahead and get the details on it in the city planner right here. So it's an 8x8, 4 high. It needs 1 food per day of any quality, and it is active from sunrise to midnight. It needs wood logs, iron ingots, iron ore. If you give it a furnace, then it will smelt the ores. Otherwise, it's just going to call for iron ingots. And it will call for iron ingots all the time, incessantly. It won't stop calling for iron ingots. And it takes those iron ingots and makes them into blocks of iron or iron tools. So if it makes all of its iron tools, then it starts compiling those into blocks of iron, which is fine in a way because you can get the iron back out of it, but then it doesn't have iron to produce the iron tools. It can't get them from the iron blocks. So unless you have a mine shaft, bunch of mine shafts running constantly pulling in iron, then this guy's going to get a little bit demanding and overwhelming. Fortunately, as mentioned, you can just simply put a lever on it and turn it off. Now, in later videos, we'll look at some ways to automate such things, but that is advanced stuff to do. So we won't get to that at this time. Now, let me go ahead and turn my mine shaft back on here, who was requesting iron tools. We do have some iron ore here in the distributor. All of these other mine shafts have been emptied of their iron ore, that one as well. And it's gone back into the warehouse. So in the warehouse, we have quite a bit of iron ore here. And it will request iron ingots. We don't have any iron ingots. We haven't made iron ingots yet. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up this block a little bit as we normally do with the tick rate. And I'll set it to 100. And we'll wait for it to get a message for it to tell us what it needs. Everything else should be running. It can supply iron tools for the mine shafts, for the lumber mill, anything that needs tools. Okay, so it's needing proper tools for the mine shaft. That's requesting that. The blacksmith here doesn't have any ingots. And there are no ingots available into the system, so I'm waiting to see if it's going to ask for them on its own, or if for now it will just, not get started because we've never started the process for it. So it's the mine shaft that's requesting things. It doesn't appear as if this guy is going to initially ask us for something, which is good. If you first place it down. So let me go ahead and set the tick rate back to 20. And we will go ahead now and give it a few iron ingots and see what it does. So I'm just going to grab some. Let's get half a stack. Right. And as everything, it's got an inventory. It does need wood. But again, it may not advance. So you can see that you get an achievement when you place down the blacksmith, which is acquire hardware. So that's interesting to do. We should have some iron in here. Let's set the tick rate back up and see if it will become active and request wood. We should have wood over here from our lumber mills. Yes, just a bit. This guy's getting wood, and you could see it's producing quite a bit of wood planks already. All right, Mr. Blacksmith, what are we going to do? They're requesting iron tools. So he should ask for some wood. We've got wood planks. So I think it's just a matter of time. Guess I'll go ahead and up the tick rate to 1,000. And that's, of course, just going to be the mine shaft. So I'm just wondering if, because these blocks are next to each other. All right, let me go ahead and set the tick rate back to 20. My guess is that this lever is sending that a signal. So I'm going to put it here. Okay, now let's get the tick rate back up and see what we get from it. Yes, okay. So guys, that's something good to know. I said I would test that. I now have tested it here live on camera. So according to that, this one lever will affect this mine shaft as well. So that it'll make that mine shaft inactive, that one lever, so when you put them together. So as redstone does, it travels across blocks. So when the blocks were next to each other, one disabled the other. So you could use that to your advantage or disadvantage to disable certain items. But that's a good thing to learn. All right, so this guy is starting his game for low on iron ingots. And if you were to leave it set up and running all the time, then get used to that message, friend, because you're going to get it a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and put down a furnace. And I do need to configure iron ingots to come out of the warehouse here. So let's grab iron ingot right here. Or actually iron ore, because this guy will use iron ore. And we'll go ahead and set the tick rate up again. Because the reason we set the tick rate is that everything takes a little while to update. And we're speeding that process up. So the blacksmith is still saying he's low on iron ore. He should be able to see iron ore from the distributor. This guy is configured for it. Right there. Okay, it just updated. It got its stack. Just saw it. So this guy should be able to get that from that distributor over there. And it does. The furnace is now active. So the furnace gets wood to burn or coal, depending. So it's made all of its iron tools. It made an iron pickaxe, but it immediately gave that to the mine shaft over here. Actually right here. See, so the mine shaft now has an iron pick and a stone pick. Now, one of the issues is that if you have both of these carpenters, the carpenter set up to provide stone tools and the blacksmith set up to provide iron tools, I've seen it take iron in preference, which we really don't want because iron's a lot more expensive. So now you can see that it's producing blocks of iron from iron ingots. So it's taking the stuff out of our warehouse here. You could see that it's being pulled out. Now again, I'm at tick rate 1000, which is why it's appearing glitchy. because I'm moving at a very high speed, so I'm pushing the shift key. But you can see these update where coal and iron are moving in and out of the system here. And so it's producing iron, pulling in iron ingots, producing blocks of iron. So where that becomes problematic is when you run out of the iron. Everything's fine as long as you've got iron to give it. Everybody's happy. But as soon as all this is smelted, that's when the problems start of, I need iron ore, I need, iron ingots, one or the other. If it's going to ask for iron ore all the time now. And so we do have one mine running that's potentially pulling in more iron. See, there's iron there. Actually, that's the distributor. So iron can be coming into here, but so basically you're going to want to turn this guy off, or we're going to want to automate it to be able to know what its contents are and be able to handle it, to disable it by redstone. So this redstone thing is important, but the idea is that if you don't want to go through a complex setup, once you've got iron tools, like say you're running a mine shaft at lower levels, then you could turn this guy on. If your tree farm is fine to use stone, and your farm really, once it's gotten started, doesn't need it. So pretty much everything except the later stages of the mine shaft are fine to use stone tools as long as you can automatically produce them. Now, when you first plant your farm, as we mentioned in that video, then iron hose can be of an advantage, especially if you're going to do the whole farm. So I'm going to go back to tick rate 20 here. All the tools are produced, and so this guy's now just going through all of our iron, and it'll just keep producing these iron blocks, and once it's in the economy, it'll sell them back to make money. But we're going to want a way to handle that and to override it. So again, that's the first block that the carpenter can be somewhat hard to maintain a little bit because of its amount of wood planks that it produces. See, look, it's in our time that we've waited, it's already produced all these wood planks. So that's not as bad, a little bit easier to automate. So we did determine that if I turn off this lever, then I will disable the carpenter and the distributor. So we probably do want to put a bit of separation between these guys. But anyway, some of this is fly by the seat of our pants, learn as we go, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing because you want to figure stuff out to the best of your abilities and push it into an overall whole that hopefully makes sense to you guys. Please let me know in the comments if it does and how you like this series. And please subscribe to the channel to help it grow so you can see more content like this. Anyway, this is Gato Mato. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.